Thank you. And do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll faithfully and accurately interpret the proceedings from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, we're not calling the matter of DCX for Olson versus Golia, case number 2023 PCS 7. Can all parties please state the name for the record, starting with the government?
Este es el caso 23 PCS 07. Cada una de las partes se va a presentar. Primero comenzamos con el gobierno.
Evan O'Donnell, on behalf of the government.
De parte del gobierno. And I'm sorry, what was that name again?
Evan O'Donnell.
Evan O'Donnell.
Okay. Ms. Olson?
Señora Olson.
My name is Maria Olson, mother of Mia and Nina Olson.
Se identifica la señora Olson, madre de María y Mia Olson.
Thank you.
Ms. Rebecca.
José Mariano Golia.
José Mariano Golia.
Golia.
Okay. I need both parties to raise their right hand for me, please.
Necesito que ambas partes levanten la mano derecha, por favor.
And do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give to this honorable court will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Solemnemente o afirman que el testimonio que darán ante la corte será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you.
I swear.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Chandler. We are back today for a motion hearing. We were continued from our previous hearing that took place a couple months ago. And
Buenos días, soy la juez Chandler y estamos aquí para continuar la audiencia con respecto a la petición que se comenzó hace unos cuantos meses.
we have two motions pending before the court.
Tenemos dos peticiones ante la corte.
We have the motion that was previously filed by the government.
Tenemos la petición que presentó el gobierno anteriormente.
And then we have a new motion that was filed by Ms. Olson for recusal.
Y luego tenemos la próxima petición, la nueva petición que presentó la señora Olson para recusarse.
So before I take up the motion to reinstate that was filed by the government, I do want to address the motion filed by Ms. Olson.
Así que antes de comenzar con la petición para reanudar del gobierno, quiero empezar con la de la señora Olson.
La disculpa.
Ms. Olson on October 14th filed a motion, a general motion, that asked the court to assign a different judge. In her words, for the sake of impartiality, for the best interest of the minor children. She goes on to list information in the motion to support that.
La primera que tenemos de la señora Olson se presentó el 14 de octubre pidiendo una moción general que se pautara otra juez, debido a una petición por imparcialidad por el mejor interés de los niños menores y después de eso procede con información.
Because this motion was just filed over 2 weeks ago, and knowing this court hearing was scheduled, I wanted to address that today.
Ya que esta petición se acaba de presentar hace 2 semanas y ya que también se había pautado la audiencia, procedo con esto el día de hoy.
All right. So I'm going to ask the parties if they have any position on the motion, and I'm going to first start with Ms. Olson to see if there's anything additionally she would like to add regarding her motion.
Comienzo con las partes pidiendo a ver si tienen algún tipo de posición en cuanto a esta petición y comenzaré con la señora Olson.
Yes, I do have something to say. I prepared for it.
Tengo algo que decir, me preparé.
All right, you may proceed, Ms.
Puede
Olson.
proceder, señora.
Okay, first of all, I need to apologize because the first of the things that I said was mentioning last hearing, 2023, and I am very surprised. I misunderstood completely, and I heard the hearing this morning, and I was appalled to see how I misunderstood. So I am really sorry. That it's a long story, but I am sorry. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I am really sorry to you, Miss Chandler. However, I still have other strong reasons that I am really sorry. I feel bad for doing this, but I do need to do this for my kids and for myself. So I want to say it. I hope it doesn't bother anyone. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel I'm right. So let me know if I can tell you. It's not long.
This is the opportunity for you to state anything in support of your motion, Ms.
Oh,
Olson.
okay.
If there's something that you would like to add that is not
Yes. Sure,
in
I
the
understand.
motion.
So this is nothing personal. And I want the recusal, but I need at least an amount to be established today until another judge is appointed, if that's the case, because the children are alive today now, and they need to eat, go to school, have clothes today. So, well, the first thing I wanted to say, it's only four things, very short. First, Your Honor said that he was nice, using these words, that he was nice as a person. She demonstrated bias, according to me. She's not completely objective as a judge should be. She already has a preconceived notion of one of the parties, Mr. Golia. Even if she had thought I needed $10 a month and he offered 100, the judgment should be based on the amount, not on the person. In other words, I think she should have judged the amount as excessive or insufficient instead of judging the person. So saying the amount is this and that, but not the person being nice. Clearly, Your Honor, loses impartiality. She could influence her decision. I am afraid this influences her decision. Not for being a bad person or anything, but she said he's being nice, even though he knows perfectly well the cost of living in Argentina today. He knows very well. Second, Your Honor asked me to look for a full-time job until I am fully employed, as if I weren't fully employed already, alone with 2 kids. I am also a handicapped sorry. I found out I have a disability, and I don't have friends or anyone. I have my family, and given that for 9 years I demonstrated that I could support them, take care of them, and also spend quality time with them, then I am still asked for full-time employment. Even though I said my situation had worsened, Your Honor still wanted to wait until the next hearing for the father to pay anything. So she didn't think we needed extra help. So if we didn't need extra help, then why is she asking me to look for a full-time job? Why now and not before? I said I earned 110, well, it's actually 1,400, and they survive on that. And the proof is that they do survive, and they are healthy. Even so, she requested I look for full-time job until fully employed. How am I supposed to take care of the girls and spend quality time with them, which is so necessary for their emotional development, with a full-time job, on top of the work I am already doing with my tenants, my translations, not to mention cleaning, cooking, laundry, shopping? I have a list that is like 2 pages long of the daily work I have to do, because it is very difficult with twins. They are 2, and I'm alone, completely alone. She's also asking about my babysitting expenses. So working full-time to pay for a nanny doesn't seem to make sense. Besides, if it's a full-time job in the United States and I'm here, I have to work until 7 p.m. at least because of the time difference. She can't demand that I find a full-time job until fully employed. It seemed biased to me. Even though this was proposed by the defendant, but well, it was ordered by the judge. I don't know. I feel sorry, but and Your Honor is not considering the value of quality time with the girls. She's not objective. She's not assessing the situation as it's presented to her, and that is not good for the girls' well-being. That is my third point. She accused me of, I'm sorry if I'm sounding aggressive or something, that's not, so third, her accusation that I broke the law by connecting online as instructed by Miss Bell, knowing that Your Honor had already accepted my motion to appear virtually. She relied the previous day on a U.S. address I provided on a previous date for a different reason, together with an Argentinian address stating that I live in both places, to deny my virtual appearance the following day, and then accused me of breaking the law on purpose. I don't want to say accuse me, I don't know. Fourth, at the last hearing, when it was when the case was continued, Your Honor failed to consider that until that hearing was held, the girls needed to be supported. And this is most important because she didn't say, well, in the time until the next hearing, why not set up an amount? That occurred to me, not to her. And furthermore, and this is very important, when the father, after being asked, he said, okay, I will give them $100 right now. He said right now. And this was well translated. And he said he was going to pay immediately, but Your Honor determined October 1st, which was 2 weeks later. So I found this too biased because the girls needed to eat right there and then. Why do we have to wait for him to find a lawyer? They still need to eat every day while he finds one. And until the next hearing, even if it's 2 weeks. I feel like Your Honor doesn't care about the children. I'm sorry to say it like that. The well-being, or maybe she does, but she thinks more about the father. I don't know. He paid on October 1st, but not on November 1st. Well, he actually paid last night, but when I wrote this, he hadn't. Well, apparently, he paid last minute yesterday night, but she said she's nice. She says he's nice, and decided that the payment would be made 2 weeks later. Why not at that moment, at that very same day? If I have to pay the same day, why the differentiation between us? He, the father, cannot say that he doesn't have an income, because if he did, he wouldn't be able to be alive, rent a place, drive a truck, and he doesn't exactly look like a skeleton starving to death. And he also said I should go to the U.S. like everybody wants to go because there is work. And he said, why taking money out of the U.S. if we live in Argentina? This wasn't properly translated, so that's why I wanted to say it. But the most important thing, by not providing any money available immediately, Your Honor is assuming that we have enough to live comfortably or in a good way. But she is still requesting that I look for a full-time job. So why? If we live comfortably, okay. I find this biased. If we live comfortably, then why look for a full-time job? And if we don't live comfortably, why postpone it 2 weeks? Sorry, the claim about 2023 was a mistake. But all the other points are still wrong. And lastly, I want to say really fast about a few mistranslations from last hearing, because I think this is very important. When I was told that I was not complying, I said I am sorry, and that was not translated at all. It is important that you people know when I feel sorry. I think that's my opinion. Also, it was translated that I am eating noodles every day, but I said even if I ate noodles, which is not the same. I don't eat noodles every day, and the kids don't either. So last time the father said he wanted to establish paternity in Argentina because he would live in Argentina. That wasn't translated. The father also said, why will I send money if I will not see them because I will live in this country, in the US? He contradicts himself. On one hand, he says one thing, and on the other hand, he says he will live there. And this wasn't translated. And lastly, just like when he said there is work in the US and everybody wants to come, and then he says he doesn't have a job. In both hearings, he said he didn't have a job 2 years apart. Also, this is contradictory, and it wasn't translated. Also, why would I want to take money out of the US? Why would I, the mother, want to take money out of the US when I am not even living in the US? Well, it is his money, not the US money. And this wasn't translated. And finally, he said he's concerned with seeing them because I kept them away for 9 years, and he sounded so poor and so sweet, and I sent proof of this lie. Because it wasn't properly translated, and I said I was begging him to see them the whole life. I was begging him to see them, and he didn't. And I sent evidence of this. That's all. I'm really sorry.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Olson. All right, I will see if the government has a position on the motion filed by Ms. Olson.
So government's policy is generally not to take a position on recusal requests. That's our position. I think just as a matter of fact that perhaps the court is not already just reviewing the hearing itself might clarify what the posture of the case was at that time, because I'm not sure that the representation of what was available to be done at that time is accurate. But our official position is not to take a position on this motion.
Thank you. And I will hear from Mr. Golia.
Escucharé al señor Golia.
No sé qué decir, no sé ni lo que dijo.
I don't know what to say. I don't even know what she said.
Es increíble. Levanta la mano diciendo que no va a mentir una corte y es una mentirosa.
I don't know it's incredible that she raises her hand saying that she's not going to lie in court, and she's a liar.
A ver en qué momento dice que no me las negó. Si le ven la entrada y salida de este país, se va a dar cuenta que acá no vive.
And
no miente.
saying that she never denied me seeing her. You can see the entries and the exits from this country, and you'll see that. I mean, she's lying.
Lo único que ella hace es venir a arreglar sus propiedades, rentarlas y volver a vivir a la Argentina. No le gusta vivir aquí, lo sabemos, ella y yo sabemos eso.
The only thing that she does is she comes over here, she takes care of her properties, she rents them, and then she leaves. She doesn't like living here. She goes back to Argentina. We know that.
Dice que no tiene de comer las nenas, si no tiene de comer que se la dé al padre. Entonces digo yo, como una persona que tiene 3 propiedades, no tiene para darle comer a 2 niñas. Yo creo que hay algo que no está bien en la cabeza de esta señora.
And then she says they don't have food to eat. Give them to their father then. How is it possible that somebody that has three properties doesn't have enough to feed the two girls? I think there's something that's just not right in this woman's head.
So, Mr. Galea,
Bien, señor Goria.
right now I'm addressing
Ahora mismo,
the motion that Ms. Olson filed asking for the judge's recusal from the case. So I will take any comments or position you have concerning that specific issue right now, sir.
posiciones sobre ese asunto. ¿De cuál? Which one?
The motion for recusal. She has requested that I remove myself as the judge on the case. And she's requesting another judge on the case. Do you have a position concerning that, sir?
No logro entender por qué se creen tantos derechos y tener la autoridad de correr a un juez como que la jueza fuera ella. No tiene sentido nada lo que dice esa mujer.
I don't see the sense behind how much sense interpreters correction. I don't see that making any sense. Why does she think she has so many rights enough to dictate what the judge should do as if she were the judge herself?
All right, thank you. Ms. Olson, you can respond to anything that is relevant to the recusal motion.
Yes, but I do need to respond to all those lies. I'm sorry, but he could do it. Also, please, I need interpretation in Spanish for me because I can speak, but I don't understand everything. I mean, well, that's what I need. So, please,
Wait, Ms. Olson?
Yeah.
You're saying you need interpretation assistance as well, ma'am?
Yes, like last time, only to for what you guys, I'm sorry, for you people say, but I want to speak English, but I want to understand everything that is said, please. I'm sorry to request this, and I do need to respond to that because
that was not made clear to the court because you started off speaking in English.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to ask the interpreter to speak so that you can hear him in the microphone as well.
Thank you. So I really fast. My God, and I hear him and I almost believe what he says. I think he believes what he himself says. Okay, I have to relax. He lied in everything again. As always, I can prove everything, but now I cannot prove right now. But he says if you look at my entries and that I go and rent and come back, well, if you look at my entries, I can show you that I have been living most of the time there, and I did come here 5 months, a year. It's all in the entries with my passport. Well, so that is a lie.
Miss Olson.
I'm sorry.
I need you to speak only to any point that is relevant to the recusal motion right now, ma'am. Just solely that.
Okay, then I need a recusal because if you are listening to him and not to me, then that is already biased again because he said important things.
Let me tell you what has to happen. When you're talking, because we have an interpreter, you have to speak and then pause and allow the interpreter time to translate.
Señora Olson,
He understands everything.
Well, you can't say one moment you understand everything and then 1 second you say that you
understands everything.
Ms. Olson, please do not cut me off, ma'am. Please don't. If you need the assistance of the interpreter, he has to be able to hear what you're saying, translate it, and then follow up with your next statement. There needs to be time for that, ma'am. So I need you to allow that.
Tiene que escuchar, permitir que el intérprete interprete y entonces continuar.
So how is my entries and all that related to the girls' well-being? He said so many things. He says that I have 3 properties. I don't. He says whatever he wants, and he sounds so credible that it really freaks me, scares me, and I would like somebody to look at the evidence and allow me to reply to all these things because he said them. Why can't I reply to those lies? So if you do what he says, look at the evidence at my entries and exits and see how much time I spent there. I spent more time, except for last year, that's why I still didn't do the taxes. Last year, I spent more time in Argentina, but this year, I spent equal time, or I will, because I am about to travel, here and there. It is 6 months plus 1 day I have been in the US for 2023, and in 2024 I wasn't. So what he says is not true. He said, what else did he say? Because I realized I went crazy. He is right on that. Because of all his lies, he's a narcissistic that everybody believes him. So it drove me crazy. So he says he doesn't have to eat. What did you write here? I don't understand it. I don't remember. But he said, what else did he say?
Miss Olson.
Oh, that I should give them to Miss
Olson.
Yeah.
Sí.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Because the things that you're going into are going deeper into the case and are referencing things outside of the motion for recusal.
Está entrando más allá, más a profundo en cuanto al caso.
I go crazy because of all these accusations that sound so real that he almost convinces me.
Miss Olson, you have to give the interpreter an opportunity to translate, okay?
Señora Olson, le tiene que dar la oportunidad al intérprete para interpretar.
Okay.
All right. So, before we can proceed, I want to address the pending motion that was filed by Ms. Olson.
Antes de proceder, quisiera entonces atender la moción que tenemos o la petición que tenemos pendiente hecha por la señora Olson.
The first thing I want to do is state that what was filed by Ms. Olson was procedurally incorrect.
Lo primero que debo decir es que en cuanto al procedimiento, lo que se presentó por la señora Olson estaba incorrecto.
In order to formally move forward with a judge recusing themselves from a case, an affidavit needs to be filed by the party making the request and filed with the
Para
court.
conseguir que un juez se recuse de un caso, se necesita presentar una declaración, un affidavit jurado.
Ms. Olson filed a general motion filing and stated in her motion that she was requesting a new assignment of a judge, which is procedurally deficient.
La señora Olson presentó una moción general pidiendo, y en la moción dijo que solicitaba que se asignara un juez nuevo, y esto en cuanto al procedimiento es algo deficiente.
However, because of the concerns raised, I wanted to nonetheless address her motion and her concerns today in court.
Sin embargo, debido a la preocupación que se expresó, yo quería proceder y atender el asunto de la petición el día de hoy.
The court will note that recusal is appropriate whenever a party reasonably believes a judicial officer has a personal bias or prejudice originating from sources outside of the court proceedings.
La Corte anota que es apropiado pedir, alegar parcialidad judicial por una parte cuando se piensa que hay un prejuicio o parcialidad fuera del caso.
Mr. Golia, do I have any personal or professional history with you, sir?
Señor Golía, ¿tengo yo algún historial personal o profesional con usted? No.
Do I know you from any prior court proceedings or from any matters outside of this present case today?
¿Lo conozco a usted de algún otro procedimiento anterior de tribunal o fuera del tribunal antes del día de este procedimiento?
No, ¿verdad?
No, right?
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, señora.
So I want to put on the record that this court has no prior interaction or affiliation or history with Mr. Golia prior to this present matter that is before the court.
Quiero poner entonces en actas que esta juez no tiene ningún tipo de antecedente o interacción anterior con el señor Golia antes de este caso que tenemos en actas.
As was previously stated by the government, I want to put the context of our last hearing in place.
Como dijo el gobierno anteriormente, quisiera poner el contexto de nuestra última audiencia en este caso.
The motion hearing was set due to the government filing a motion to reinstate this case, which was closed back in May of 2024.
La moción del gobierno era una moción para reanudar este caso, el cual había sido cerrado anteriormente en mayo de 2023,
2024.
del 2023.
It was our first hearing, and the parties appeared at the hearing without the requisite information concerning financial information of the parties.
Las partes comparecieron durante la primera audiencia y comparecieron sin la información requerida en cuanto a los documentos financieros.
Because the court did not have any financial information regarding the income of the parties, the court was limited in its ability to be able to render any court orders concerning support on that day.
Ya que la Corte no tenía los documentos financieros necesarios explicando el ingreso de las partes, se veía limitada en cuanto a la orden que podía emitir para la manutención.
Ms. Olson did reference her request to appear virtually, which the court did deny.
La señora Olson sí presentó o expresó su solicitud para comparecer virtualmente y esto fue denegado por la Corte.
It is very clear in the motion that the court denied the request because the court was under the impression she was here in the continental United States in a close jurisdiction and could appear in person.
Queda claro que esta moción fue denegada por la Corte porque la Corte estaba bajo la impresión de que ella estaba en los Estados Unidos continentales cerca de esta jurisdicción.
However, when the court hearing began and proceeded, the court did allow Ms. Olson to participate in the hearing virtually, despite the order that was issued.
Sin embargo, cuando comenzó y procedió la audiencia, la Corte sí permitió que la señora Olson procediera de manera virtual.
There was a lot of, during the hearing, there was a lot of confusion regarding Ms. Olson's location and whether or not she was available to appear in person at the hearings here in the District of Columbia.
Durante esta audiencia hubo mucha confusión en cuanto a la ubicación de la señora Olson y sobre si ella estaba disponible para comparecer personalmente en el Distrito de Columbia.
And for the sake of efficiency, the court allowed her to appear virtually, despite the ruling provided by the court.
Para asegurar la eficiencia, la Corte permitió que la señora Olson compareciera remotamente a pesar de la orden anterior.
When the court was unable to issue a financial order because there was no income information from the parties,
y cuando la Corte no pudo emitir una orden financiera porque no tenía la información de las partes,
the court explained clearly to both of the parties what was needed at the next hearing, including the financial information that was needed.
La Corte entonces le explicó a las partes cuál era la información que se necesitaba, también incluyendo la información financiera.
The court also raised the option of Mr. Golia voluntarily making direct payments to Ms. Olson.
La Corte también presentó la opción de que el señor Golía hiciera pagos directamente a la señora Olson.
That is when Mr. Golia stated he was willing to make a $100 payment on a schedule every month until we returned.
Y ahí es que el señor Golía dijo que él estaba dispuesto a hacer un pago de $100 cada mes, según se pautara, hasta la próxima audiencia.
I had previously stated that a initial child support order typically starts at the minimal amount of $75 a month.
Anteriormente yo había dicho que una orden de manutención mínima anterior se tenía que hacer de por lo menos $75 al mes.
And I stated that because of the lack of information, I was unable to issue that order on that day.
Mencioné que debido a la falta de información, yo era incapaz de emitir una orden ese día.
It was at that time, to make the record very clear, that Mr. Golia stated he would make a $100 payment per month.
Fue en ese momento, y para que quede claro en actas, que el señor Golía dijo que él podría hacer un pago de $100 al mes.
And that is when the court made the comment, "That's nice. Thank you."
Y ahí es que la corte dijo, hizo el comentario de que eso es algo amable.
That is less than 75.
Court, Ms. Olson, please do not cut me off. I did not cut you off when you were talking for 15 minutes straight.
Y señora Olson, por favor, no me interrumpa. Yo no le interrumpí a usted mientras habló por 15 minutos.
The court made that comment directly in regards to Mr. Golia voluntarily offering to make a payment to provide financial support during the time where the court was not able to issue an order.
La Corte hizo ese comentario directamente al señor Golía debido al hecho de que se dio de voluntario para hacer una contribución económica en ese momento.
The court has no basis and no relationship and no prior history with Mr. Golia to make a determination on how nice of a man he is.
La Corte no tiene ninguna base, ninguna relación ni ningún historial anterior con el señor Golía para determinar cuán amable es.
I was simply making that comment in reference to him offering to make a payment. It was in regard to that single and solitary action.
Hice ese comentario sencillamente debido al hecho de que se ofreció hacer ese pago y fue específicamente y solitariamente debido a esa acción.
The court was unaware of any translation errors that Ms. Olson mentioned in her statements today that took place during the prior hearing.
Y la Corte no tenía conocimiento de ningún problema de traducción, según ha mencionado la señora Olson el día de hoy.
At no point was it brought to the court's attention that there was an error in the translation during the hearing.
Y en ningún momento se trajo a la atención de la Corte que hubiese ningún problema de falla en la traducción.
That is something the court would have addressed immediately had that been brought to the court's attention, just like I addressed it today.
Y eso es algo que se hubiese atendido de inmediatamente si hubiese llegado a la atención de la Corte, tal como se ha hecho el día de hoy.
So based on all of those things, one thing, the job search request that was made for the both parties is not an uncommon request in child support cases.
Y dado eso, y también primero añado que esta solicitud de que hubiese una búsqueda de trabajo para ambas partes no es una solicitud fuera de lo común en estos casos.
If the court has a reason to believe that parties are unemployed or underemployed, that is often a request of the court.
Si la Corte por alguna razón piensa que las partes están o desempleadas o no empleadas suficientemente, es algo que se puede hacer.
So based on all of those factors, I do not believe that there is a legal basis to grant Ms. Olson's motion.
Basándome en todos estos hechos, no pienso que exista una razón legal para hallar con lugar la petición de la señora Olson.
her request for recusal based on bias or prejudice is procedurally deficient.
Esta petición petición para recusarme por parcialidad es deficiente en cuanto al procedimiento.
There is no evidence of any personal bias or prejudice based on any originating sources outside of the court proceedings concerning the court and Mr. Galea.
No existe ninguna prueba en cuanto a prejuicio fuera o dentro del procedimiento y de contacto con el señor Golía.
And this matter is still in its early stages with just its second hearing, and the court has not made any findings that have been prejudicial to Ms. Olson.
Y este asunto todavía está en sus etapas tempranas. Esta es solamente la segunda audiencia y no se ha hecho daño a la señora Olson.
However, because Ms. Olson has raised her concerns, even though her motion fails procedurally, I am going to have this case certified to a new judge.
Sin embargo, ya que la señora Olson ha traído esta petición, aun si lo ha hecho incorrectamente en cuanto al procedimiento, sí voy a solicitar que este caso sea certificado a un juez nuevo.
I am going to allow this matter to move forward with another judge assigned in the family court, even though I do not believe that there is a basis for recusal based on bias or prejudice. But in order for this matter to proceed without any concerns on behalf of the CP, I will transfer the case.
Voy a permitir que este caso sea escuchado por otro juez bajo la sección de familias, aunque no creo que exista base para yo recusarme debido a parcialidad o prejuicio en este caso.
Based on my decision today, I'm going to continue this matter so that all of the matters that are pending can be addressed by the newly assigned judge. 1 second.
¿Qué hago? ¿Qué hago?
No puedes hacer eso.
¿Qué quiere para ponerlo?
Yo creo que no puedes hacer nada. Si ella, vos la recusaste y se dice, está bien, yo me parto.
No, pero yo le dije que solamente quería el recusal si no se posponía.
Bueno, decirle ahora, pero lo que necesito que no se posponga. Pero igual.
No puede ser, no puede ser.
Yo creo que si se recusa tiene que hacerlo porque no se sabe qué juez va a seguir, tiene que mirar las evidencias. Si se recusa no puedes seguir con el caso hasta que no es un nuevo juez.
No, bueno, que establezcan porque de nuevo se hace injusticia.
Esa sí ya.
No.
One second. Yes, while we get our date. Yes.
Is there somebody in the room with Ms. Olson that she's speaking to?
Ms. Olson, are you alone or is someone in the room with you, ma'am?
Oh yes, my mom is here. I'm sorry.
Señora Olson, ¿está sola o tiene a alguien en el cuarto con usted?
You are not allowed to communicate with other parties during these proceedings. Even though you've been given the, convenience of appearing virtually, ma'am, these are private matters, okay?
No se le permite comunicarse con otras partes durante la audiencia, aunque se le ha permitido comparecer remotamente.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you have a question, Ms. Olson?
¿Tiene usted una
Yes.
pregunta, señora Olson?
I'm sorry, it's because my mom has more common sense and I am not doing well emotionally because of all this that I lived with this reality with this person. I do want to say something very important, very important. I began my recusal statement saying that I only wanted the recusal if this didn't mean to not have money until the next hearing. And please don't talk about 100 a month, because I spent that in one day and I proved it and I showed you the evidence. In one day I spent, this is 2 kids. You talk about $75 for the minimum. Well, the $75 for the minimum plus 2 is more than 100 already, but I spent $100 is nothing in this country, nothing in the US, and virtually in any country, but especially in this country right now. Please, people should think about my kids. No, don't think about me and how not charismatic I am. Please, my kids need to live better today. I cannot wait because of a recusal. I rather don't get a recusal, but I get some help. Please,
So Ms.
don't do this
Olson,
again.
Ms. Olson, you can't really unring that bell, ma'am. You've already stated, very, very actually, much in detail as to why you believe that I have been prejudicial in this case. And so for me to render a decision in this case would leave this case possibly at risk of you maybe possibly interpreting that going forward. And I don't want that to happen. And I'm very sensitive to the fact that you do not want to delay and you want this matter to proceed. But because you raised that concern, I cannot ignore that concern, ma'am. I just can't. And I can't say now, oh, well, she said it, but she's taking it back. That is not an option, ma'am.
No, I am not taking it back, but can the defender of the kids...
So, exactly. So since you're not taking it back, for me to proceed in this matter, even though I've denied your motion because procedurally it was deficient and you did not do it properly, I am taking your concerns into consideration. And even though I don't believe I'm biased, I don't believe I'm prejudiced, and I could move forward. But because this case at its inception is starting out where you believe I am not being fair and impartial, I am moving it to another judge. And that refrains me from making any decisions further in this matter. And so they will have to wait until they go to that next judge, ma'am. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
But it's not an inconvenience. This is very serious for my kids. Please, somebody think about my kids. Somebody, if it's not you, somebody has to.
This is not done without thinking of the implications concerning you or your children. But this is what must be done as a matter of law because of the filings and because of the testimony and all of the things that I have heard in this matter today and leading up to this point, ma'am.
You have no idea how we are living here with my mom. We have a lot of conflicts out of this case. We need to move out. We need help right now. This is very serious for the psychological stage of my kids. If I have to give up the recusal, I will. Please. The first thing I said was, if this recusal is going to mean that you forget about my kids until the next hearing, or give them $100 a month like before, which is almost nothing, please, I do not want the recusal. I need something done today, please. The defender of my kids, please, can somebody help me? Not me, can somebody help the kids?
Thank you, Ms. Olson. Yes, Mr. Golia.
Sí, señor Golia.
Tiene $100 más, fue mandado ayer.
Perdón.
Tiene 100. She have $100 more than yesterday.
One day, 101 day. I spent.
Creo que yo cumplí con todo lo que la corte me dice y creo que ella está teniendo el control de todo y hasta el lujo de cambiar un juez. Digo, no creo que esto sea justo.
I think I have done everything the
Tengo
court.
dos cheques para presentar que estoy trabajando.
I believe I've done everything the court has asked me for. She has all the control, so much so that she even has changed the judge, and I don't believe that it's fair. I have 2 checks here to show that I am working.
No creo que esté en condiciones de mantener a las niñas porque no la veo emocionalmente bien. Nada de lo que dice tiene sentido, no prueba nada, no respeta la corte, no hizo absolutamente nada de lo que se le pidió. Yo por lo menos lo intenté.
I don't believe that she is emotionally fit to take care of the children because of the way that she's behaving. She's not making any sense. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't prove anything. And I at least made an attempt. And she didn't do anything that the court asked her to do.
Thank you, sir. Government, anything further?
Señor?
No,
Did we get our date? Okay. We'll get our date for our next hearing from our clerk.
Your Honor, the parties are to come back to court for a motion hearing on January 8th, 2026 at 10:30 a.m. before Judge Vila in courtroom JM 14. Again, that date is January 8th, 2026 at 10:30 a.m. before Judge Vila in courtroom JM 14.
Su señoría, las partes regresarán a la corte en la sala 6JM 14 el 8 de enero del 2026 ante el juez Vila. Repito, este caso será otra vez en la sala JM 14 el 8 de enero del 2026 ante el juez Vila.
Yes, Governor.
May the custodial parent appear virtually at the next hearing?
Yes.
¿Se podría comparecer
Well,
virtualmente la próxima
You
audiencia?
can put it in order, yes, I'll allow it. That is, going forward, is going to be a decision that Judge Vila has to make.
Puede poner la orden y yo lo permitiré, sin embargo, de aquí en adelante será el
Yes,
juez
Ms. Olson.
Vila. Señora Olson, adelante.
Is the father
Padre.
going to offer any help?
Una ayuda.
I mean, the $100 really are nothing. It's one day, but it is some. I mean, how can, did you look at my evidence? How much I spend here? My parents are retired people. My mom sold her house and she's spending it on us. How
So let
scary
me-
is that?
Ms. Olson?
I need
Ms.
for
Olson?
him to help right
Ms.
now.
Olson, let me ask him. Mr. Galea, are you inclined to make any further payments directly to Ms. Olson?
Señora Olson, le tengo que preguntar a él, señor Golía, ¿está usted dispuesto a hacer algún pago adicional a la señora Olson?
Yo creo que cuando el otro juez toque la audiencia con el otro juez, porque la veo con problemas mentales, o no la veo bien a la señora.
I think I'll do that when the other judge makes the decision. I don't see her well. I see her with mental problems.
So what?
All right. So this court can.
I'd like to help.
So you are not going. Nobody's going to do anything for
One
the
second,
girls.
Ms. Olson. Ms. Olson, 1 second.
Mire, me gustaría ayudar a las nenas, pero mi madre
No, he
vive
wouldn't.
en Argentina. Me gustaría mandarle el dinero a mi madre, que mi madre se lo pase
Okay.
y que la deje ver porque se la niega.
I would like to help the girls. My mother lives in Argentina. I would like to send the money to my mother and have my mother hand it over to her because she denies visitations to her.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, as long as I receive it.
As I stated previously, because we are in the same position we were in at the last hearing, a slightly different, because I have recused myself, I'm not going to make a decision concerning an order amount concerning today, because I'm not even sure if we're in a posture to do that. So there's nothing barring Mr. Galea from making direct payments to you, Ms. Olson, as he has been doing. And if he chooses to continue to do that, that is on him. There is not an order that is in place that is requiring him to do that. Just as he voluntarily stated he would do it at the last hearing, if he is stated on the record that he is willing to do that with those specific accommodations and stipulations of it being handed through his mother. But that is
How
something
often?
that the two of you can work that out. That is outside of the court's hands because that is not an official order of the court. All right? Thank you. Oh, yes.
Just clarification. So could you just, explain to me the ruling just so I can properly document it?
Para tenerlo claro, ¿podría usted explicar su dictamen para poder tenerlo aquí en acta?
Ms. Olson's motion is denied.
La petición de la señora Olson
Reinstate is held in abeyance,
es denegada la orden para
certifying the case to Judge Vila.
reanudar
The
el caso
motion was denied based on procedural grounds,
que mantiene en suspenso
and also on the fact that there was no evidence to support it.
en la orden para
The court is certifying the case to address Ms. Olson's concerns of prejudice
la petición para recusarse se deniega debido a
that were unsubstantiated.
de procedimiento, pero se certifica al juez Fila debido a la
Any other clarification needed? That's good.
Yeah, you had referenced that you had recused yourself, so I just,
Oh,
procedurally,
I'm sorry. No, I have not technically recused myself. No. I apologize if I made that statement. No.
Usted hizo referencia a que se había recusado. No, lo dije incorrectamente. No me he recusado.
I did not recuse myself, but I am certifying the case.
Pero sí voy a certificar el caso adelante.
All right.
Bien.
Thank you all very much.
Gracias a todos.
The order from today will be sent to you electronically to your email address that we have on file.
So the girls will go with nothing until 2 months from
hasta
now.
que por correo electrónico.
I will appeal.
Thank you, Ms. Olson.
Ella va a compartir.
Thank you, Mr. Galea.
Gracias,
That
señora Golía.
concludes our case.
Gracias, señora Golía.
We are adjourned. You all have a good day.
Eso concluye el
9
caso y
years.
estamos en receso. Any further need for the interpreter at this point, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance.
My pleasure.
Amazing. First world. Hijos de puta.
Pero no haces eso.